Yo, top of the morning, happy Monday. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 307. Let me just make sure I had that right. Yeah, 307. The album that I would like to review this morning is Westside Connection with the second and final album, Terrorist Threats, released in 2003. You guys should know who Westside Connection are, but for those who don't know, they consist of three members, which include Mac 10 right here, Ice Cube, and Dub C in the Mad Circle. Since then, all three had like promising careers. Obviously, Ice Cube being like the most successful one out of the three. They had dropped their classic albums. I did a review on "Bow Down" from 1996, which is critically acclaimed. People love that album, myself included. And since then, they have a lot. They had a lot going on. Since they had dropped solo albums. They appeared in movies and things of that nature. Um, and then now we fast forward from 1996 to 2003, which is a pretty big gap, especially in hip hop. Yeah, which could be positive or negative. It depends on how you see things. Some people it works for them, but some people it doesn't work. But we'll see how that go with this. So yeah, this album contains one single, which is "Gangsta Nation," which there was a video for. There was never like a follow up video or anything like that. From 2003, a lot has, like I said, has been going on. Ice Cube had just dropped Friday After Next in 2002. Dub C dropped the Ghetto Heisman that same year in 2002. Um, I believe Mac 10 dropped an album called Mac 10 Presents the Hood, which is kind of his group album. They only dropped one album. That was in 2002. Then Mac 10 dropped Bang and Ball and then Paper Route, which I need to get my hands on those. I need to get Ghetto Heisman as well, but that one's kind of hard to find. Um, what else? Ice Cube had dropped, music wise, the last thing he dropped was One Piece Volume 2, which I wasn't too fond of, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did a review on that album. Definitely check that out when you guys get a chance. But enough for that. Now let's get into this album. Like I said, um, uh, this album contains one single, "Gangsta Nation." Sorry, it's like these pop ups coming up on my computer. Yeah. Um, Gangsta Nation, which there was a video for. Now let's get into it. All right. So you see them. You know what I mean? Just just chilling. Got the mic right here. Um, oh, both of them, all three of them got mics, and you got like paper or whatever the case may be. And you see, yeah, I got it used. So, all right, open it up. All right, pretty cool. And then you open it up. There's a pretty cool picture of the crew. You know what I mean? All right. Then got a nice picture of the W that was popularized by West Coast Cam from the Watts. All right, open it up. You got the Ice Cube, the Ace, pretty cool. Dub C, Mac 10. All right, pretty cool. And then you got like the merch and things like that. That's a pretty cool. That's a pretty cool T-shirt. Yeah, for sure. All right. Now let's get into the features in the album. Let's get into it. Features include Nate Dogg, may he rest in peace, the great Nate Dogg, Butch Cassidy, K Mac of the Comrades. That first Comrades album is so fucking dope. Nocturnal, The Hood, which is K Mac, Scoop, and Young Soprano. And that's pretty much it as far as the features. So features are kept to the minimum. Now let's get into the producers. Producers include Young Trey. Young Trey, he's worked a lot with Mac 10. Early, not early on, but like later in his career. Like started with the Paper Out era. albums and I'm Banging Ball. I think he was on Banging Ball, but I know for sure he did a lot on the Paper Route album. Young Trey again, Frederick, dope producer, nephew, Pockets and Rashad Coles, Young Trey, Bruce Wayne and Dirty Swift, Mini Mafia. That I heard that name in years. Pockets and Rashad Coles. The Mizza, I believe he was like the in-house producer for Shady Shiest. Uh, Sir Jinx, shout out to Sir Jinx, underrated producer. DJ Jamal, Bruce Wayne, Big Tank, and Megahertz. That's a producer I haven't heard in years. All right, so let's get into it. To the meat and potatoes. You know how I got down. I'm gonna go do some of the tracks. All right. Track one is a threat to the world intro. Basically, you got Keith David, dope actor, very underrated actor, great actor at that. Just him introducing the three members of the group, and basically he's saying like how the world can't be dominated by those three, or hell will break loose. I'm just paraphrasing what he said. That's basically what I got. So pretty cool. Not too crazy. Uh, then we're gonna go to track two, Call 911. That's another joint. That was a joint that was produced by Young Trey. Dope track right here. I like the bass line to the beat. I do like the line by Ice Cube where he says, "I'm straight off the slave ship. My style is ancient. I'm rich and I'm famous. I'm armed. I'm dangerous. Came with the language. It's mad. It's brainless. You study at Cambridge. I'm fucking your main bitch. Woo! Fire. Fire, fire, fire. That was dope. So that was track two, Call 911. Track three, Potential Victims. That was also produced by Young Trey. It has a decent beat. I like the line by Mac 10 when he says, "Here comes West Coast gangsters and khakis and creases. Plus a pink sleep nigga, you punks is leases. My whole Bentley got peanut butter guts like Reese's. Blood peeled niggas is red like an endangered species, fucker." Dope shit. So that was track three, Potential Victims. Track four, Gangsta Nation featuring Nate Dogg. That was the first and final single of the album. Dope track. I've always liked it when it came out. I remember seeing the video a lot on like BT and things like that. Like 106 in Park, Rap City used to play that a lot in the videos. But yeah, dope track. I like the line by Mac 10 when he said, "Evacuate the building, bitch. Here comes a plane. No, it's mad ass Westside Connect gang. And fuck what you claim, nigga. This who bang. With enough game to drive a square bitch insane." Whoo, fire. Love that shit right there. Shout out track four, Gangsta Nation featuring Nate Dogg. May you rest in peace. Track five, Get Ignorant. That was produced by Nephew. Dope track right here. I like the line by Ice Cube when he said, "My grandmama even called me a dummy, an ignorant little bastard. How I'm spending my money, I tell her that's why you ain't as fly as your grandson, handsome, with a pocket full of ransom. It ain't tricking if you got it. Pull it out your pocket, baby. Drop it like your hydraulic, shaking, shaking like your supersonic pocket, baby. Drop it like I'm sorry, uh, shake it like you're supersonic. Made me psychotic with the booty look bionic. Whoo, fire. Cuba's dope, man. Cuba's fucking dope, man, with the lyricism. And that's one thing I've always liked about Cube. I always felt like he was like a chameleon. And what I mean by that is that no matter what type of beat he raps over, he can flow to that beat. Or he'll find his pocket to rhyme to that beat. And that's not easy to do. And that's one thing I do give Ice Cube props on it. So pretty dope. So that was track five, Get Ignorant. Track six, Rashad Cole, Pimp the System, produced by Rashad Cole and Pocket. Dope beat, like the bass line for that, pretty dope. I like the line by Cube when he says, fuck as a sex savior, make what I just made. That bitch had to sell pussy for a decade, and that's too much time for a brainy one. I'm on a daisy run to crack your cranium, rap uranium. Whoo, fire. Love that shit. So that was track six, Pimp the System. Uh, Track seven, Don't Get Out of Pocket featuring K Mac of Comrades. Was not a fan of this song, was not a fan of the beat. The beat was definitely out of pocket. It definitely sounded like something from a scene from Friday After Next. I'm dead ass serious. It sounded like it would be on that movie, like a scene, like a funny scene. And it's like, okay, let me get the reels from the cutting room floor, like the from the studio, the film studio, and just add drums to it. That would be dope. Nah, that's what I got from that, and it just wasn't good, man. I don't know what he was thinking about that. Um, so that was track seven. Don't Get Out of Pocket. Yeah, that beat was definitely out of pocket. Track eight, Ism. That was produced by Midi Mafia. Underrated hip hop producer group, producer duo. That was a cool track. Like the bass line for that, but the synth bass line, very dope. Um, I like the line by Dub C when he says, "Hood life, the life of a robber, chrome on chrome wires and switches, and nigga with more prize than Richard." Whoo, fire! Love that. Love that shit. So that was track eight, Ism. Track nine, um, So Many Rappers in Love. That was produced by Rashad Coles and Pockets. They just talk about how there's a lot of rappers that's trying to go for that more commercial sound, and rapping to the ladies on some L Cool J shit. Excuse me. Just talk about the disdain for that, but the beat, it sounded like some shit that they're complaining about that the rappers rap on with. Like, that makes sense because it sounded like a radio track in itself. So I just wasn't a fan of that song at all. It kind of like didn't do anything for me. So then we got track 10, um, Lights Out, produced by Demiza, featuring Nocturnal. Another joint I wasn't too crazy about. Not the biggest fan. Demiza, he's kind of to me. Not the best in the world. I didn't really care for him too much. Um, yeah, Lights Out could have done without. Track 11, um, Banging at the Party. That was produced by Sir Jinx and DJ Jamal. It features The Hood, which can include Junk Soprano, Scoop, um, K Mac, and I believe that was it. Um, I wasn't too crazy about this song. Didn't really do much, and I like Sir Jinx, but the beat was like pretty weak. Um, it's like one of those things. It looks good on paper, but when you listen to it, it's kind of like, come on, Sir Jinx, could have done better with that. Very very basic beat. I didn't care for it. Not much thought that went into the beat. That's my personal opinion. Didn't really care for that too much. It's kind of weak, especially for Sir Jinx. He could have done better than that. All right, so that was track 11, Bagging at the Party. Um, Track 12, You Gotta Have Heart, produced by Mini Mafia. That's a dope track right there. That features Bruce Wayne. I like the line by Dub C when he said, "I sit alone in my corner room, in my four corner room, loading ammo, cause in these streets, life is days a gamble. Like Run DMC, times is getting harder, so I'm taking my cold Fandalelin to the author." Dope shit right there. So that's track 12, You Gotta Have Heart. Track 13, the self-titled track, Terrorist Threats. Um, that was produced by Big Tank. I was not a fan of the beat. It sounded like a Neptune's knockoff. It's just like, what the fuck is going on, guys, man? The production here is just overall trash, man. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. This is crazy. Um, and then track 14, Superstar, the last track. That was produced by Megahertz. That's a dope track right here. Um, I like the line by Mac 10 when he says, "Who gives a fuck if you money ain't game up to par? Cause jail time and bullets make a nigga a star. But it's a shame you ain't getting no real ass figures. Got these white kid fools like you some real ass niggas." Love that shit right there. All right, my overall verdict of this album was not that good. it was pretty weak. I just feel like um, not that they were removed from music because I think they were still doing their thing. I just feel like the production choices were kind of weak. Like you could have easily gotten like DJ Quick, you could have gotten Battle Cat, you could have gotten Dr. Dre, you could have gotten uh Meech, you could have gotten Jelly Roll, people like that. You could have got and Banks, I said that Battle Cat, um, DJ Muggs. You could have gotten him. You could have gotten all these other producers that was popping in the West Coast at that time. Warren G, you could have gotten him. DJ Quick, like I mentioned before. But I don't know, man. Like I don't know. The production is like what failed the album, in my opinion. I feel like if they had dropped this album back in like 2000, I think it would have fared better. Especially when they dropped the song "Let It Rain" off the "Thicker Than Water" album, "Thicker Than Water" soundtrack. Would have been a perfect way to drop an album, especially at that time period in 2000. But by that time, Ice Cube was like just doing music. He was doing movie. He was more focused on movies. What else? He uh had just dropped War and Peace. Then Mac 10 dropped a paper route. So they were too busy to do that, and I understand. But I think in 2000 would have been a better um way to release this album. And it's just the album just I don't know, it just got lost in the sauce. It didn't do well. Unfortunately, this was the last album they dropped, and it's kind of a good thing because if they had dropped another album with production like this, I'm kind of like, I'm good on that. Um, I think over time, the music over the years had kind of plummeted, at least for me, between the three artists. But that's neither here or there. I digress. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this album. Not a good album. Could have done without it. I'm glad they dropped it, but it was very disappointing. I just feel like the lyrics were dope. They did their thing. The subject matter, it was very, predictable. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I just feel like if they had better beats, I think this album would have been fared better. A lot of people are gonna compare this to Bow Down. You can't stop that. That's just the way it is. Obviously Bow Down will be the better album. But like I said, if they had dropped this 3 years prior in 2000, I think they would have had better beats and different producers. Shit, Superfly. You could have Superfly. But yeah. But that's my thoughts on this album. Let me know what you guys think. Westside Connection, Terrorist Threats, released in 2003. Peace.